Okay. So today's video is kind of serious. It's a topic I've never covered before on my channel, and it's about YouTube burnout. And this is a question I constantly get on my Instagram, in my DMs, in my emails. And basically, for those of you who don't know, burnout is that feeling when you hit a brick wall and you feel like you're suffocating. You don't know what's coming next. You don't know what to do next. This is not only affecting you creatively, but it's affecting you in every aspect of your life. And I've hit two pretty big brick walls in my work and in my life. And it's that feeling, you're suffocating. You don't know where to go. I've been there. I've done that. And if you're watching this video and you're going through that, I just want you to know right now you are not alone. If you're feeling depressed, that is perfectly normal. I've been there, done that. I've questioned everything about my career, about my life. I don't know what to do next. Why are my views down? Why am I making less money? Guys, don't worry, okay? I hope when you're watching this video, you're gonna, really absorb what I'm talking about, because I've gotten out of this burnout. I've gotten through the brick walls, and we're gonna talk about some ways on how to do that. So I have some notes in my phone here. So one of the first questions I would get asked on Instagram is, how often should I expect getting burned out? And this is honestly, this is subjective. It depends on your work schedule. It depends how much you work, how frequently you work, and just how much effort you're putting into what you're doing. Obviously, the more effort you put into something and the less you get out of it, the more burnt out you're gonna feel. And I've done Instagram tutorials that have taken me weeks. I've done YouTube videos that have taken me months. I put them online and they get maybe 200 or 300 views. I mean, it's happened to some of my recent YouTube videos. And you feel like you've hit a creative brick wall. You've hit a brick wall with your career, with your life. And this happens frequently, guys. You're not gonna necessarily hit the biggest brick wall frequently, but you're gonna hit minor brick walls pretty frequently, at least a couple times a year. So I want you to mentally prepare yourself for that. And we're gonna cover some tips on how you can mentally prepare, okay? So this leads into, how to overcome it. And, how did I start being a YouTuber or an Instagrammer or even, mildly a TikToker? Basically what I did when I was younger, when I was 14, 15 years old, is that I picked up a camera, I picked up something that was new to me, and I just started shooting random things, filming random things. And I really enjoyed putting pieces of footage together with some background music, some effects and transitions, and I really, really started enjoying it. So what I did is I took a hobby and I turned it into a career. And this could be both a good and a bad thing, because when you take a hobby, something that you're so passionate about, something that you love so much, and you put it towards something that's going to dictate the rest of your life, for example, your career, and you put it towards something that's going to make you money, you become solely dependent on that hobby. And what tends to happen is that hobby eventually stops being a hobby, and it just starts being something that you have to do every day. And notice how I said have to. It becomes an obligation. And when your hobby becomes an obligation, it's no longer a hobby. And that's kind of what happened with me. I turned filmmaking or video creating into a profession, and now at certain times when I've hit those big brick walls, I can't even stand to look at my studio. I can't stand to look at my lens, my camera, my monitor, my lights, and even my gimbals. It's depressing, it sucks, and that's when you know you've hit probably one of the biggest brick walls, when you can't even stand something that you once really, really loved. And how do you overcome this? You have to pick up multiple hobbies. Even though you turned your main hobby into profession, it's time for you to start looking at other hobbies. Do you like music? Learn how to play piano, learn how to play guitar, learn how to ride an electric scooter, go meet up with some buddies, and, just join some group rides. That's what I did during COVID. During COVID, I bought a unicycle, an electric unicycle. I actually bought 2 electric unicycles, and I was like, I can't stay at home shooting videos all day. I have to go out and explore Los Angeles. I have to explore the world. So I got some electric unicycles. I met up with some buddies that I met through the Telegram app and on Meetup, and I rode with them. I rode around Long Beach with them, Orange County, Costa Mesa, and just did a lot of riding with them. And this made me so much happier. It promoted a better workplace for me at home. Okay? So it's so important for you to pick up multiple hobbies, and you do this before you even hit that major brick wall. You should be going into this already full of different interests and hobbies. This was one of my biggest mistakes. I had a ton of hobbies, but when I started doing YouTube full time, I dropped most of my hobbies, actually all of my hobbies, and I just focused on YouTube. And I know it's gonna seem kind of like, oh, I don't wanna work on my hustle or my grind. No, you're still gonna work on your hustle and your grind, but your mind needs to be distracted at certain times. You cannot just focus on work 24/7. My work habits have been crazy. It's all about work for me. Work, gym, sleep. Work, gym, sleep. Work, gym, sleep. Work, gym, sleep. There is no personal life. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I stopped hanging out with my family as much. And this becomes a major problem. You have to pick up other hobbies. All right. So just, if you're thinking about becoming a YouTuber, if you're going into that transitional phase from hobby to profession, make sure that before you jump into the profession phase that you have multiple hobbies, guys, because this is going to avoid a lot of depression, a lot of headache, and a lot of brick walls. You need to engage also with your friends and family more. One of my biggest fears was leaving my comfort zone, and my comfort zone is basically my home, where I live. As soon as I step out the door, I leave my comfort zone. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know who I'm going to meet. And that gives me a lot of anxiety. All right. And I become so comfortable hanging out with my, friends, 3-4 people at their house watching TV. That became like my lifestyle, my go-to, relaxation. And eventually what that did is, because I became so accustomed to that, I became so comfortable with that, I became depressed. I became extremely depressed, and that's where that second brick wall hit me. My next tip for you guys is to never be comfortable. Being comfortable is your worst enemy, because what's going to happen is that you're going to start lowering your expectations. Believe it or not, I know it doesn't sound like it when you're comfortable, but when you start getting very comfortable, you're going to start letting things slide. You're going to start letting things slip right under your feet. Your expectations are going to go low. So what you need to do is that you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. For me, my pushing myself out of my comfort zone was to go to different meetups and go to like different mixers, meet professionals that are in my field, or maybe not even in my field, but forcing myself to go out and meet new people. This is something that I had to do. This is so good for your mental strength. I'm telling you right now. And not only that, it's going to help you with your work. It's going to help you push your limits. So you must not live comfortably. You cannot. If you live comfortably, you are going to start lowering your expectations. If you start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you're going to start raising the bar each time. So what I did, a goal for myself, was to go out every week and meet somebody new. That's my goal. Meet a new person, at least one person every week, because I'm not accustomed to that. For me, that's going out of my comfort zone. For me, that's making me face my fears, and that is being socially, available. Beating social anxiety, that is my goal. And this is how you're going to beat that comfort zone. This is how you're going to punch through that brick wall. And this is so crucial. All right. You need to also understand when to take a break from work. This kind of ties into what I already talked about. But yeah, my work ethic has just been, Work, gym, sleep, work, gym, sleep. The gym is kind of like therapy to me. It's kind of a break, but you need more. You need to be more social. So try to go out every week, even during the day, during your work days, during your lunch breaks. Some of you, work a 9-to-5 job. That's completely fine. But you need to learn how to take breaks. You need to accept that your mind needs to be distracted from your daily grind. It really does. Because your daily grind will eventually become monotonous. It'll become boring and stale. And again, you're going to get comfortable. Believe it or not, you can get very comfortable with your daily grind. And as soon as you get comfortable, sorry, that was my chair. As soon as you get comfortable, you start lowering your expectations, and then things just start to slide. Okay? You must leave your comfort zone. A lot of my friends refuse to do that. They stay in their comfort zone, and therefore their ambitions are gone. Their goals are just not there. So for those of you who are watching this video, I don't know how many views this video is going to get, but regardless of how many views it gets, I want to make sure that you guys understand that the struggles that I went through, I want to make sure that you find ways, or that you are known, that you know ways of how to beat this brick wall and how to beat it at least twice as fast as me. Because I had to fight a lot of demons. I locked myself up in my house, refused to leave. I would just stare at my white walls in my house and just I would fall into that deep hole of depression and just think about my self-worth. What am I going to do 10 years from now? You start asking yourself all of these questions. And believe it or not, you locking yourself up in your house is your comfort zone, guys. You cannot be comfortable in life. Life is about growing. It's not about staying the same. And when you're comfortable, you're staying the same. My last tip, and I feel like this is so relevant, especially for 2021, especially with, our lockdowns that are happening throughout the country and just social unrest and all of that stuff. There are times when you just cannot overcome your own monsters by yourself. And this is when I strongly suggest that you check out going into therapy. And I started therapy. I started seeing a therapist. I'm very glad that I did, because there were certain things that I didn't know that I had issues with that therapy uncovered for me. And even if you can't afford therapy, that's perfectly fine. But for those of you who can and are thinking about, if it's a waste of money or not, I'm telling you right now, it's not. It's not. Because what therapy does is it uncovers all of the dark things that you're holding dormant in your system. All of the things that you were programmed with when you were a kid. It's all in your mind. It's all somewhere. And you're subconsciously doing things that are not healthy for you, and you're not even realizing it. And what therapy does is it brings those subconscious things up into the air so you can actually see what you're doing. And therapy teaches you ways on how to stop it, how to overcome it, and how to live through things. So if you're facing things that you just feel like you can't beat on your own, and your friends and family can't understand what you're going through, wow, my chair is very noisy today. Find a therapist. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, so I'm going to refer a website to you. I used a website called BetterHelp. I'll link it down below. And for those of you who are in the creative space, trust me, especially the ones who are in a creative space, you are eventually going to need to seek, advice, either it being life coaching or an actual therapist. You're gonna need a person that does all that. So those are my tips on how to overcome burnout. Trust me, it's a lot more complicated than I actually say it is in this video, but hopefully I did uncover some ways for you guys to, go through burnout, understanding burnout, how to actually push yourselves beyond your comfort level and just do things that you normally wouldn't do. This is how you grow as a human being. This is how you're going to better your work and just become a better human overall. So let me know what you guys think. How do you beat burnout? What is your version of burnout? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.